If you'd have told me a year ago that I would have a Taylor Gold label in my studio to test out and play some bluegrass on, I would have thought you were crazy. But that was before I attended this event, the 2026 NAMM show. And I said in my recap video that there was an undeniable atmosphere of bluegrass at that event. The big story was Martin's release of the Molly Tuttle signature model. She had the regular D18 and the X series. Then there was the Taylor room with the giant 3,000-foot Trey Hensley celebrating his signature release. So all this to say, and I mentioned this on other videos as well, I think that yes, bluegrass is making a comeback, and artists, bands that haven't toured a while like Alison Krauss and Union Station, as well as guitar companies, are all capitalizing on this resurgence of the genre, probably thanks to this guy, to be honest. But all that being said, I'm gonna say something controversial here. I hope I don't piss people off. If you wanna just get to the review, go ahead and check out the video chapters down below. And I'll preface this by saying first that I love Martin guitars. I own 3 of them. They're in the room right next door to me. Now, in the bluegrass scene, when we think of Martins, we are always going to be drawn to the older builds, say before 1970. And of course, there's other ranges as well that are really sought after. But those guitars, you know, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, they're always going to be collector items, and they're always going to be prized guitars to own. But all that being said, getting right to it, I don't talk to any musician in my circle, and I haven't for years, that will say anything nice about a Martin, say, that's been built in the past 10 years. Also, and this is a bit weird and embarrassing to admit, but when I bought my D18 last year, I was a little hesitant to take it around the bluegrass folks because, again, the mentality is because they've not been made that well, or there's too many stories of faulty this or that of recently made Martins, the mentality is like, who plays a new Martin anymore? But Cody, this is a Taylor video. Why in the world are you talking about a Martin? Well, I think there's a bigger connection to make here. I'm sure you've heard of this debacle here. I'm not going to go into details about what Fender's trying to do, but at the basis of this issue, at least in the way that I see it, there is one thing Fender can do to make all of their bad publicity go away, and that's simply make better instruments. If you are going to sue your competition, then make better instruments at a better price. That way you're more in demand. So all that being said, if you are a company like Taylor, like Breedlove, like Yamaha, and you want to enter into the bluegrass space, you have to do basically 2 things. Number 1, you got to make a quality instrument at a price that folks are willing to pay in 2026. And number 2, you got to win over a bunch of bluegrass skeptics that may or may not think that a Taylor can go head to head with some of the brands that often show up inside of a jam. So at the end of this video, I'm going to pit this Taylor against a Martin HD 28. But first, let's learn a bit more about the Taylor Gold Label 710E. Starting with how this one sounded right out of the box. So luckily the guitar arrived on the evening of band practice, which meant that the 2 guys I play in the bluegrass band with got a chance to test it out as well. And I mean this in the nicest way possible, and I really respect their opinions, but those guys are probably bigger bluegrass nerds than I am, believe it or not. And we all had great things to say about the out-of-the-box setup. I'm not sure if they were thinking, let's make this bluegrass ready, but it is, and so it's absolute perfection, and we were all 3 in agreement of that. One of the best feeling guitars right out of the box that I've ever played. Next, let's quickly talk about the Tonewood because it did sound great the other night at practice. First, the 2 main Tonewoods in the bluegrass world are mahogany and rosewood, for which this guitar is made out of. Rosewood back and sides with a Sitka spruce torrefied top. Torrefied means that Taylor's put this through a special process that dries out the wood. And then with rosewood, it's gonna be a little bit more crisp, generally speaking, than mahogany. It's gonna pack a bigger punch, louder. And we definitely felt this at practice the other night, especially because I'm more of a mahogany guy. I don't think I've had a rosewood at practice in a long time. And the big difference is, at least in the room we were playing in the other night, it's just much more pronounced. It really cut through the banjo and the bass, just all around sounded and felt amazing. The nuts made out of white tusk, saddles made out of white micarta, bridge material is Honduran rosewood with the Taylor nickel tuning machines. Ebony fretboard with a really solid feeling mahogany neck. This is not as round as what you might feel on a Martin, but I have absolutely no complaints with the neck. It feels like a high-end guitar through and through. And then there's two unique features about this guitar. The first is Taylor's neck. They call it the action control neck. Taylor says our proprietary long tenon design features a tenon that protrudes beyond the neck heel and extends deeper into a precision routed pocket in the body's neck block. The long tenon increases the stiffness of the heel, which translates into more low-end resonance and a deeper, warmer, more open sound. I'm definitely not an expert, so let me know what I'm missing down below, but from my understanding, this makes it to where you're not going to have to pay for a pricey neck reset, which is a big perk because the last thing you want to do if you buy an expensive guitar is have to worry about that in the future. And the second unique thing about this guitar is Taylor's fanned V-class bracing. Again, I'm not an expert, but when you look into the sound hole, this guitar looks unlike any other in my collection at least. And you can see this angled brace. It kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but I think it's really cool. And according to the website, this fan V-class bracing improves volume and sustain. Gotta see how it sounds with Red Hair Boy, of course. One identifying element of every Taylor that I've ever played, walked into a music store and picked up, or seen played live are the control knobs for the pickup system. Actually, when I think of Taylor acoustic instruments, I think of a church leader or like a worship leader playing an acoustic live with these knobs right here on the top. So I just assumed that the gold label was going to come with the same pickup system installed, but I was wrong. On their gold labels, and I think some other models as well, they come installed with this LR Baggs Element VTC system that stands for volume, tone, and control. It's an under saddle pickup system, and I've used LR Baggs pickup systems in the past. Let me know what your experience with them has been down below, but I've had nothing but good things to say about it. And so I got to test it out the other night. Here's a short clip before we get to the comparison, and then I'll plug it into the speaker behind me. So no pickup system here in the studio. No complaints with the pickup system. It can get kind of loud in here with the powered speaker and the microphones, and so just wanted to give you a sample. But I'll say this before we get into the final comparison with the Martin HD28. The thing that has changed about my thought process on Taylor after receiving this guitar is I'm finding myself learning more about these instruments, because I'm basically a blank slate when it comes to my knowledge of Taylor guitars. I've done my research here the past week or so, and I've learned some interesting things about the instruments and the company, and I want to keep digging into it. Will this replace a Bluegrass Martin? I don't know. You let me know down below. But let's get to the comparison. Thank you, Taylor, for sending this out, and I definitely recommend checking one of these out if you get a chance to in the real world. And here's the comparison. Thanks, folks.